What's up, everyone? It's Q, and here we're going to take a quick look at Halo Wars Definitive Edition. Now, real quick, I'll get the introduction to it out of the way. So, Halo Wars Definitive Edition, if you don't know what it is basically a reprogrammed, remastered, and rejigged version of Halo Wars from the Xbox 360. And now with the Definitive Edition, it runs at a higher resolution, it has better graphics, better textures, better sound, etc., etc. And in the case of the Xbox One version, it runs natively on the Xbox One. It's already available on Xbox One backwards compatibility with the 360 version, but the Definitive Edition has actual native Xbox One usage. It also has PC support, so it's a Windows 10 game available on the Windows 10 App Store and using the whole UWP thing. It's also an Xbox Play Anywhere game, so if you buy a digital copy on either your Xbox One or on your PC, you will have access to it on the other one. But what I want to talk about today, now, actually, real quick, is obviously it's the first time Halo Wars is available on PC because the original version was only available on 360, and obviously there was no proper way to play that on a PC. The PC version has stuff like 4K textures, etc., etc., but you get the idea. Now, the main reason I want to look at this is, first off, this game isn't technically normally available. As it stands at the moment, it's only available as a pre-order bonus, incentive, extra, whatever you want to call it, if you pre-order the Ultimate Edition of Halo Wars 2. Again, be it on Xbox One or Windows 10, it's all the same, you still get this. It became available from December 20th, early access for the people who pre-ordered it. But the codes took, say, 7 to 10 days to come out. They rolled them out in waves. That's understandable, so everyone's servers don't get hammered at once. The first thing that kind of threw me off, it did take me, it took me about 8 days or so, 7 or 8 days to get my actual code for Halo Wars Definitive Edition. And I don't have Windows 10 just yet, so I should have that probably by the time Halo Wars 2 comes out. So I've been playing it on my Xbox One. Now, one thing I want to get into real quick as well is, as soon as I started the download, I was really, I won't say worried, but I was taken aback a little bit. For the simple reason is, when you think of most games and their remastered versions, they're usually, say, I mean, you're usually looking at, even a small remaster is 20 something gig. And you have your bigger ones, which are 30, 40, 50, 60 gig of data. So Halo Wars Definitive Edition on Xbox One was 9 gig, which is relatively small. Now, eventually, while it was downloading, it made me think, it was like, okay, realistically, the textures for the actual units and all the stuff in the game, with the exception of the landmass, is going to be pretty small. So I was like, okay, even running at 1080p, I can understand why the majority of the textures are still going to be pretty small. Again, with the exception of the terrain textures and the land textures, obviously they need to be bigger and better and whatever you want to call them. So I was like, okay, I can kind of understand where they're coming from with the download size. Now, I started playing, and straight away it does tell you that the game is in early access. There's features and whatever and etc., subject to change. So I'm like, okay, I can see where they're going with this. The game isn't technically out yet. You know, there might be, it's essentially a beta test. You know, when it might, you might get better performance upgrades, better textures, but you might get better textures, who knows? You might get better optimization, better performance. There might be new features added in, things like that, new netcode, stability improvements, whatever. But as it stands at the moment, the game is in pretty bad shape. Now, you've probably seen it in this video already. This, like I said, this is all recorded from my Xbox One. You can see that the in-game cutscenes are actually locked to 30 FPS, which is really jarring because the performance kind of, you can see it as it pans over. Again, if you flip back to the start of this video, or you'll see it a bit more towards the end as well, that the actual performance just kind of stutters as it's panning across. Now, that's down to two things. One, it's down to the actual cutscene versions being locked at 30 FPS versus the game, which isn't locked at 30 FPS. And secondly, it's down to some performance optimizations. For the simple reason is, it's not just when you're panning across in 30 FPS cutscenes or anything like that. The game performance and some of the effects and all are actually pretty unoptimized. Now, I'll give you a perfect example. Like I said, you're going to see a much more significant version of it towards the end of this video. But the main one I want to talk about is when the main good example that first got me worried about this whole thing is during the tutorial. There's at one point you have to destroy a single small building. And when you destroy that building, it blows up into debris, and there's a little bit of smoke and a little bit of debris. And straight away the game nosedived to what is probably 10 FPS. The Xbox One should not be struggling with a game like this. I know it's in early access and all, so things like this are subject to change, and hopefully it does change. But that was the initial thing that got me worried. And after that, I started playing the main story, and I played 1 or 2 missions, and the same kind of thing happened. So you're probably seeing it roughly about now in this video, give or take, where the performance of the game just as you're playing takes a significant hit during actual gameplay, and that's a bit of an issue. There are reports as well as the PC version sometimes having similar issues. It's much harder to nail down on a PC version of a game because it can be to do with people's individual hardware, the settings they're using, or the configuration of their system, or the exact state of their system as well. So that could go either way, back and forth on there. But another thing that had me really set off and really worried for just the overall optimization and performance of it is you would have seen, possibly now or just a couple of seconds ago or in a couple of seconds, I earned some achievements in this game just for finishing the first level. And you can see how low the performance and frame rate is of the actual achievement thing that pops up. Now that may not seem like a big deal to you, but that's a bit indicative of the actual quality of the port, the optimization, the coding, and the game. Because when I play almost any other game, these are all fast, smooth transition. This looks like it's running at about 2 FPS, which kind of insinuates either the console is completely struggling, which it shouldn't be, or the game is a bit of an unoptimized mess. So, given the fact that Halo Wars Definitive Edition is technically not out until the end of February, when Halo Wars 2 properly releases it, so it's not officially out at the same point, or until the same point, and the fact that it's currently technically in early access, I will give them the benefit of the doubt. I do want to put it on hold at the moment because I do want to play this. I love Halo Wars. I played it way back on the day in the 360, and to play it again with better quality, better graphics, etc., better performance, and possibly to play it on my PC as well, I'm definitely very happy about that, and I'm very excited to actually give it a go. But I don't want the game to be marred down by, at the end of the day, the effects and all the effects, the physics and all in Halo Wars are very rudimentary. And to see an Xbox One struggle with them under its normal circumstances is unheard of. Now, because of all that, I am putting it down to early access and not being completely finished and optimized is the way I'm going to word it. So I do have faith, or at least I certainly hope so, that they properly improve the quality of the game on Xbox One and on PC, because it's a really good game, and I know I can't wait to play it again. And other people that are going to be coming to the series for the first time, you know, it's like, okay, I'm going to get Halo Wars 2. I need to play Halo Wars 1 first. And then they start playing it and it runs like crap. Now, hopefully that's not the case. But because it's like 2 or 3 months early access, we call it 2 months early access, hopefully it's all fixed in the meantime. As well as the alleged mouse and keyboard support, even on Xbox One, being added in for Halo Wars 1 and 2. Hopefully that comes, and hopefully that works out really well. So, as it stands at the moment, Halo Wars Definitive Edition on Xbox One, and from what I can understand is a not too small sample size on the PC version, the game is currently in not a good state. I hope that changes. Let's see how it goes. There's still another 2 months before release. Hopefully it's all fixed before then, because I'm looking forward to it. So if you've played Halo Wars Definitive Edition on either PC or Xbox One, or you've been curious about it, or you're just kind of worn out a little bit when it comes to situations like this with the underperformance or the unoptimization, whatever it is, let me know all your thoughts and opinions and comments and experiences on it in the comment section below. Anyway, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can follow me on Twitter, details in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the rest of the videos in my channel.